Good morning, millennials. Welcome back to the Chosen Happy Wednesday. It is hump day. Don't forget to hump someone you love. And speaking of people that I love, it's Jackie and it's Claudia. And we are in a brand new studio. As promised, we are doing the Lord's work and trying out all the podcast studios this area has to offer today.
Some people try out all the pizza. Some people try out all the bagels, coffee. We are trying out all the podcast studios. And I feel like Goldie Rocks because this
Goldie
one...
Rocks.
Goldie
yes.
Rocks. This one feels just right.
I know. I'm kind of like loving. So...
we do say that everywhere we go.
I know. We did love yesterday's. So we'll love today's too. The thing is it's really beautiful to see the business of podcasting booming in such a way.
Yeah.
And having so many options for studios. It's really beautiful. I'm loving today's setup. You know, I love sitting behind a desk. I am still feeling like not my most beautiful self. I haven't been blowing out my hair while I'm here. So the sunglasses today, they may come off, but they're on for now.
She's on vacation time. She's on island time.
I'm on island time. And we have such an exciting episode. So it's Wednesday, which means the vibes are high. You know, we're humping someone you love. Don't forget to get your pillow humping saddle and do just that. But we also are going to be doing a little bit of a TV recap. Jackie and I unfortunately committed ourselves last night to watching the first 2 episodes of the new season of Love is Blind, which is something that doesn't sound so crazy, right?
Yeah, we do it all the time.
And I don't know why. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It's a show that I absolutely love. And I was actually really excited for Minnesota. I thought, you know, we'd really get to know
the elk of Minnesotans.
And unfortunately, I think we did. And I think it's not a good elk because, oh my God, so dreadful. We will be doing, so Jackie and I both watched the first 2 episodes, although I did watch the first 5 minutes of the 3rd episode because we finally got a reveal.
And I also did see a clip of a woman. It's definitely a spoiler for later in the season, but it's what's happening. And I'll talk about what I saw.
So that'll be at the end of the show. But in case you haven't seen it yet, we'll have timestamps in the podcast description, and the Love is Blind first 2 episode season recap is at the end of today's episode during the TV recap section. It was truly one of the worst experiences of my life, just so you know. And I hate to always be so negative, but that is the energy.
I hate to always be so truthful.
I hate to always be forced to speak my truth.
Yeah, but there's no other way around it. It was really bad. Apparently it's 6 episodes of pods of nonsense about these people who really think that both liking Taco Bell means that you should spend your life with someone.
No, it's almost like you asked AI to generate a season of Love is Blind that is giving chuggy millennial. Everything was oh my God, I'm such a foodie. Okay, who isn't?
I was bullied too. Yeah. My dad also makes really good steak.
Yeah, it was so bland.
I love Christmas.
So vanilla. And every time they agreed on something that was so basic, being I love oxygen.
The things that they agree on do not make a relationship, and they're not having deep enough conversations, or I hope they're having deep conversations and we're not seeing them, but they're literally showing us every time someone farts.
Oh my God, I don't remember this much conversation.
I think a couple things. I think it's hard to get into the later episodes of the show when we don't know why they had such established connections in the first place. So I feel like Netflix is we want you guys to see how these people connected. That way, when they are engaged or whatever, there's just more. Because I felt in some of the other seasons, I'm we never saw them talk. What do they have in common?
Netflix knows that people don't tune in for the pod episodes. It's everything that happens after that's more interesting. So I feel in recent years, they've given us 2 pod episodes, and it's actually really not enough for us to understand these people. So the episode, there is a perfect balance between amount of pod time we're seeing while also retaining entertainment value. And they have so taken it too far this time.
And then it's also about dollars and cents, watch time. They're just trying to beef up these episodes. They have more streaming
beef it up in Mexico.
Hours.
I fucking love Mexico.
They're going to Honduras. I love Honduras.
When they all meet in person.
When they're on island time.
And they have to sleep in the same bed as an actual stranger.
And when they meet their fellow castmates and they're looking them up and down and talking. Best part. More honeymoon.
Less pods. But I understand that the pods are the foundation of the show. There is a way to do it. They're not doing it well. So we'll get into the TV recap.
Yeah, that wasn't it. We will get into it. And then other than that, it's just another great morning commuting with my girl, going to work. Something really funny happened this morning.
You guys, okay, so I thought we were recording at 10:30, not 10 o'clock. So I got here super early, and I got a parking spot right out front, and there was a spot right in front of me. So I was I wasn't holding it, but if anybody came by,
tabs.
I would have been my sister is really special. Please, she needs the spot.
She would have said seats taken.
So Jackie arrives. I'm Pargy. And she's she hesitates. She looks at the spot. She's I don't know how to parallel park. It's a little small. And as she's hesitating, somebody in actually the same exact car as you.
White Model Y
Tesla comes and takes the spot. So this thing that I like
I
worked
still
so
would
hard
have had to turn around. I was on the wrong side of the street. So like even if I didn't hesitate, he still would have gotten the spot. And I'm happy for him.
He who hesitates is lost.
I love to see a Model Y thriving in this world.
He crushed that parking, by the way. He didn't even have to like readjust the parallel. That's really crazy.
So then I drive a little bit more down the street and there's a beautiful spot, Pargy spot, just across the way from Coger's.
I think let me tell you my POV, okay? Because I'm on FaceTime, I'm fixing my makeup. I'm just like, making, I knew you were going to take a while to park wherever you went. And I'm like, damn, she's really taking a long time. So I look at my rearview mirror and I see you're standing in the street behind me and your car is parking itself. And I'm like, damn, these new cars are really sick. And the car is moving and twisting and turning and getting into the spot. I'm like, that is really cool to see like in action. I know that there are cars that park themselves.
You've heard about such things.
I've never seen it. I'm like, that's my sister, the ingenue, like picking herself up by her bootstraps and using the self-parking. And I'm still watching and then I see somebody's hands on the wheel and you're standing out on the curb. I'm like, wait, I think there's a person in her car.
There was a person in my car. Let me tell you what happened. So I found a cute parking spot, perfect for me.
Super cute.
Right in front of the office. And I've never parallel parked by myself before. So I had no clue what I was doing. And I was like, beep, boop, like inching.
Beep, boop,
yeah.
beep, boop.
Like really struggling to get into this parking spot. There was a woman on the curb with her 2 kids. And at a certain point, she sees me struggling and she's trying to give me she's like, pull up here. Okay. And then she went behind my car. She's like, drive back here. And I really wasn't making any headway. And then she comes around to the door. She's like, get out of the car. And she got in my car and she parked it. And of course, I'm like, worried, is this woman going to steal my car?
But she left her kids on the side.
She left her kids. So I think it was fair collateral. I'm watching the kids.
You have my car.
She's parking the car. She parked my car. And I moved on with my day. It was a little scary when she was in there. And then she pulled up when we were coming in from the back. I'm like, she's driving away.
Literally.
But no, she did the damn thing.
No, it was mothers helping mothers.
Women supporting women.
I love to see it.
Yeah. And she knew, I told her it's my first time parallel parking, duh. And her kid was like, when she was done, she was like, good job trying to drive.
She said that to you, the kid?
That's what the kid said to me. Good job trying to drive.
By the way, kids are one thing, and it's honest. And you did try. And she's actually being nice, saying good job, because you didn't even do it. So
sweet girl.
It should have been bad job trying to drive.
Well, tell her I had a commute. I did a good job all this way.
She doesn't know you're a commuter.
Yeah, so I'm going to learn how to parallel park. My car does have parking assistance feature. I've never used it. Maybe that's tomorrow.
My car does have it as well, my car at home. And
what does that do? Does it beep, boop, bop in?
Parallel parks. And having said that, the one time I tried to use it, it said feature not available. So I don't know why.
Classic feature not available. Yeah. Also, these new cars have 360-degree wheels, like the Hummer that you rented. And so the wheels can just turn towards the curb and you can skirt in. That's the kind of car I need.
Really understood why wheels couldn't go perpendicular to the car.
Yeah, they just did it with luggage. And look, we're all oh my God, rolling through the airport.
You're right. What a way Suitcase did for the 360-degree wheel. Somebody needs to do, GM needs to do for the car.
I think I saw a video of a bunch of Mercedes doing donuts in Vegas with their 360-degree wheels. I think the Hummer does it. I think maybe the Cybertruck does it. Maybe I should call Jerry and say, Gerald?
What if you just call Jerry up?
Every time something happens in my life, I'm Jerry, I think we need a Cybertruck.
And they don't pay Jerry enough for that.
No, they don't. Jerry is also my therapist.
Jerry.
I haven't heard from him in a while, I feel like.
I always for some reason, the fact that Jerry Springer passed away is a fact that doesn't stick in my brain. And I find myself constantly being reminded of it and getting sad all over again.
That's hard.
And I'm sorry that his Netflix documentary didn't take off. I saw it on the homepage and I was like, well, if everybody starts talking about it, I'll watch it. I didn't hear a word.
Not everyone can be Martha.
Jerry deserves more than that.
But I also feel with Jerry, Jerry is who meets the eye. There's not a subplot. There's not all these things that you need to know about Jerry. We thought he's a good guy. I think he is a good guy. There's not all this stuff that we don't know.
I hate to be so obnoxious. Every time
you went to the Jerry Springer show.
Every time we talk about a celebrity, I'm like, oh yeah, I just ran into him. I saw Connor Kennedy and his military mates at Zero Bond. But I did meet Jerry Springer, and so
not at Zero Bond.
Not at Zero Bond. At the Jerry Springer show.
So that's what makes this story unlike any other story.
Yeah, but I know it sounds like, well, Claudia, anybody could just go to the Jerry Springer show, and why are you special? And that's true. Anybody can, but not everybody gets invited back to Jerry's office because the social media manager listens to our podcast. And Jerry was so nice. He talked to me and my friends. You forget because he plays this character. He's just kind of this old Jewish guy. He gives very much Cat's Diner energy.
Yeah.
And he said, congrats on all your success. I hope I never see you on my show. Have a good day. And I said, thank you, Jerry.
And you honored that wish.
Look at me, thriving.
Like, and now it's too late.
They need to
Rip. You couldn't even go on his show.
You know how they like keep old franchises alive with new, Ryan Seacrest on. Now, I guess it's called the Jerry Springer Show, so I don't know who else could do it besides Jerry, but I would love to see a millennial.
Maybe Jerry O'Connell, and they call it Jerry.
Wait. That's a brilliant idea.
They don't ask me enough.
And I feel like the networks are always looking for like where to put Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah. No, he's like ready, willing, and able to be on television.
RWA.
And nobody asked me because I would just tell them that straight up.
People don't want to hear hard truths, Jackie.
No, and nobody wants to ask for help. They just think they know what the viewers want to see, and they don't. And that's why we got 6 episodes of Pods.
It pretty much comes back to the 6 episodes of Pods. I will say I'm having a lot of trouble sleeping at this stage of my pregnancy. Last night I threw up in my sleep and like woke up choking on my own vomit.
Acid reflux.
I also woke up 3 times to pee. I woke up with heartburn. Like it was just a never-ending evening. But I did want to thank Love is Blind because the first few hours of sleep were like truly dreamless, peaceful, wonderful because they gave me nothing. Like
you were so bored, you were lulled into a deep sleep.
A dreamless sleep. Like they didn't stimulate my brain at all.
No, that's sometimes what happens if I'm reading a book or I'm watching a TV show. When I am sleeping, I am in whatever that is.
But when it's a good TV show.
When it's anything remotely engaging and stimulating. But yeah, with this, and then like the next morning, it's like the first thing I'm thinking about.
Yep.
With this, I'm like, what did I do last night?
No. And what I have this terrible feeling that something awful happened to me last night. And when I woke up, I was like, why is there this heaviness on my chest? And it was because I spent 3 hours watching the worst television I've ever watched. And then I have to wake up and talk about it.
Yeah, I spent legit 4 hours and I got through an episode and a half. Feel free to spoil anything. Like I could give a rip.
I know. The best part of Love is Blind is like catching up and then going on social media and reading the funny tweets. And people were being so funny on Twitter. And usually I don't do that until I'm fully caught up, but I actually don't care.
No, I don't care.
Yeah. So, good luck getting me to remember anyone's names. I did write it down because I was like, short guy is Daniel.
Of course.
Love him.
Ben Platt.
Wait, who's Ben Platt? The Alex? Oh, no, Alex.
Who was bullied?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was bullied for not being Ben Platt.
That's actually such a good call.
He was literally Ben Platt.
Oh my God, that's funny.
So yeah, I think they all have like little monikers and there's ways to remember them. The girls, it's a little tough.
Really, I think the guys is harder.
I don't know. The girls, like who's the girl?
David, Daniel.
Who's the teacher who's like trying to get with that guy who's an asshole. And it's like the teacher and the asshole do not go together.
I wrote her name down.
And then she's always wearing like with her breasts, like a V-neck. She's always wearing cleavage.
Okay, so Dave is talking to Molly and Lauren. Lauren is her name.
Okay, her name is Lauren. That's hard to remember.
Oh, and nobody has like a special name. It's like Laura, Ashley, Sarah.
And I didn't remember Molly's name, but of course she's the redhead with the bangs.
Yeah, I like when people look different, you know? Like Madison and the other like they all look the same.
And then there was the girl who was laying there in the jeans with blonde hair. Sarah.
Blonde hair.
Maybe a Sarah.
Sarah, blonde girl. She's talking to Ben, who's very religious, and her sister's gay.
Yes, her sister is gay.
Yeah.
That's a good way to remember her.
Yeah, no, it's like nobody has anything like individualistic about them.
Yeah. And then there's the girl who's a dancer, not a singer.
The NBA dancer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know her name, but she's a dancer.
Yeah, I said, these are my notes.
That's memorable.
Devin likes Brittany.
Brittany is not the dancer.
No. Brittany is a former basketball player.
And Brittany is also B-Dot.
Yes, and Devin is also D-Buck. Devin likes the other girl who's an NBA dancer. I didn't write down her name.
But this is not the Love is Blind recap.
No. Okay, so we have like shit to do, right?
We have shit to do. We have stories to get to. So I think without further ado,
yeah, I'm down.
It is time for the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories that you need to know are brought to you by Charlotte Tilbury. Charlotte Tilbury has bottled 30 years of artistry into easy-to-choose, easy-to-use beauty products. You really can't go wrong. They are flattering for everyone, and they're the reason why she has been dubbed the Queen of Gloire. Her rigorous standards ensure that every product is designed and formulated for performance like nothing else on the market. So take her iconic Hollywood Flawless Filter, for example. I'm actually wearing it today because I went makeup shopping yesterday. I ran out of a ton of things and I went straight to Charlotte. With one product, it allows you to blur, smooth, and illuminate the look of skin. And I have to shout out to social media for this because I saw people using it like a couple of years ago and I wasn't entirely sure what it was for. I wasn't sure if it was something you wore under foundation for glow or something you could swap out for foundation if you just wanted a little bit like of a lighter coverage. Turns out you can use both. It's kind of this like miracle product that I feel like everybody's copying, but Charlotte's is the OG and it is the best. It's skincare infused, so it's not going to clog your pores, and it's clinically proven for hydration up to 24 hours. So from red carpets to influencers' bathrooms, her legendary icons have gone viral for making everyone look and feel like the most beautiful, confident version of themselves. Charlotte Tilbury is performance that you can trust. It's legendary for a reason. Whenever I do this ad, do you know what Charlotte herself talks like?
British.
Yeah, and like she talks very extravagantly. I always want to talk like her. And she says, legendary, darling. Like, she literally sounds like RuPaul. It's legendary for a reason. You can use code TOAST15 for 15% off at charlottetilbury.com. Plus, new account holders are getting free delivery. This ad is brought to you by Charlotte Tilbury, USA customers only, and valid until March 2nd, 2025. For full terms and conditions and exclusions, see the Charlotte Tilbury website. Today's episode is also brought to you by Jolie, another brand that I found out about on social media that is truly taking the world by storm. When you think about all the money that you spend on skincare, beauty products, things for your hair, battling any issues like acne, damaged hair, eczema, rashes, a lot of people don't realize that they're completely overlooking the fundamental step, and that's the water that they shower in. So we all know how important it is to like filter the water that you drink, but we really don't think the same way when we think about the water that we shower in. And clean water is the first step to an effective beauty routine, and it's a step that I, for one, completely overlooked for many years. And Jolie can make a huge difference in your skin, your hair, and your overall well-being. It's a beauty wellness company that purifies the water we shower in for better skin, hair, and overall being. Jolie's filtered shower head is best in class for removing chlorine, heavy metals, and it's the only lab-tested and clinically trialed filtering shower head on the market. So some statistics. It's clinically proven to reduce hair shedding by 81% of people, which is really crazy. It's lab tested to maintain your hair color if you color your hair. It's lab tested to reduce frizziness by 40%. You don't even think about all the things that go wrong in your life that are attributed to like having poor water quality. And Jolie is actually making us realize like your hair's not the problem, it's the water. Jolie shower heads are also just pargy. Like they really, if you have like a very aesthetic bathroom, they're sleek, they're beautiful. It's a perfect combination of form and function. And it gives really strong water pressure. So it fits all showers as the plumbing pipe size is universal. Jolie will give you your best skin and hair guaranteed if you head to jolieskinco.com/toast. Try it out for yourself with free shipping. If you don't like it, you can return your Jolie order for a full refund within 60 days. No questions asked. That's JOLIE skinco.com/toast to try it yourself with free shipping. Today's episode is also brought to you by our queens over at Quince. So who doesn't love the good things in life? You know, everybody enjoys a little luxury, darling, from here and there. But it can add up, you know, of course. And it's important to find places where you can invest in high quality items, but not get taken for a ride. And Quince is kind of the go-to place for that. It's our go-to for luxury essentials at an affordable price. So Quince offers a range of high-quality items at prices within reach. So they offer 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters. Then they start at just $50. I don't know anywhere you can get a cashmere sweater for $50. They also sell washable silk tops, dresses, organic cotton sweaters, 14-karat gold jewelry, and it's all really reasonably priced. The best part is that Quince's items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands that are making the same quality items. And how they do that is they partner directly with top factories at Quince, and then they're cutting out the cost of the middleman and passing the savings on to you. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, plus premium fabrics and finishes, which we love. So would you say that they're using top quality fabric?
TQF. Yeah. I would give them the TQF
stamp of approval.
Everything
I get from Quince is pargy, and I get like tons of compliments on cardigans, trousers, things that don't fit me right now, but they will. They will. Give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/toast for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/toast to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/toast.
Thank you, /turt. But it's actually /toast.
Yeah, stop ruining all of our ads.
No one has said anything, though.
I know. I keep waiting for a brand to be like, oh, we love the jokes. Keep up that energy, but stop confusing people.
I keep waiting for a brand to be like, let's make the code /turt.
I'm shocked that there hasn't been like a social media manager who works for a brand being like, by the way, can we change our code to /jert?
Or if they keep it /toast, because like, of course, that's a show, but then they also make turt, like the same one. So when I say it, either one would work.
2 codes for the price of 1.
Just something to think about, brand managers.
And brand managers, turt is TURT.
Yeah, turt. Our first story, some legal news. A$AP Rocky jumps into tearful Rihanna's arms after being found not guilty in his shooting trial.
And I just want to say, this is just another reason why all states should legally allow you to film courtrooms.
Are there some states where you're not allowed to even like film with your phone?
Yeah, of course. Like no media allowed, and that's why we get court cartoons. It depends on the state.
No, but media is different than just like a proud mom with her phone.
Oh, sorry. No one is allowed to proud mom with their phone, but media cameras are allowed into certain states.
Got it.
Johnny Depp, the whole thing being televised.
Of course.
I think New York is a state where you are not allowed to do that. This was in LA, so I'm assuming California is a pro-media state.
So he was overwhelmed with excitement after receiving his not guilty verdict in his shooting trial on Tuesday as he was seen jumping into longtime girlfriend Rihanna's arms upon hearing the news. Yeah, he literally jumped over the banister.
It was kind of a crazy video.
To give Riri a hug. I mean, it's very exciting news.
It's huge.
To be a free man versus he was looking at 24 years in prison.
No, and it was pretty serious charges.
Right.
2 shootings.
Right. So
and he was found not guilty on both counts.
There was a lot to celebrate.
His lawyers looked really pleased with themselves. The first person he hugged was actually his lawyer, but I think she was just kind of in the way to Rihanna.
I saw a woman that he hugged. I thought it was like a mother.
Oh, no. So all his friends and family were behind this banister.
Yeah.
And then his big ass legal team was in front of the banister at the desk. So on his way to Rihanna, and I think maybe his mother, there was a blonde lady who was totally
Yes.
a clerk, a lawyer.
Saw, okay.
And she got the first hug technically.
That's
but
nice.
that's just because of where she was. She was kind of a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, so now this goes back to the question, like the NFL players who hug their girlfriends and
exactly.
their wives. I think the order of how it went
was appropriate.
They're not married, but they might as well be. They're long-term partners. They have 2 kids together.
Yeah,
that's his wife.
I'm not gonna nitpick. That's your partner for life. You have 2 kids together. They're extremely supportive of one another in good times and in bad.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy for them. I never doubted him for a second. I don't know a single detail about the case, but I never doubted him.
I didn't have an opportunity to doubt him or believe him because I don't know a single detail about the case.
Yeah, I feel like this is a big celebrity case where we're all talking about it. Who got shot?
But by the way, we're literally not talking about it.
No, we're talking about the verdict, and we're talking about the fact because Rihanna's been coming in and out.
We talked about the Girardi of it all and then the verdict. And seriously, in the time in between, on a grand scale, this was not headline news.
No, it wasn't. But mostly, anytime it was because of Rihanna. She showed up in a look every day to court. She brought her son one day, which, there's a lot of conversation about whether that was appropriate or not. Was it a strategic legal move? Look, he's a father.
Right.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah, to be honest, I see these photos now, but this was not headline news.
Not as big as it should have been.
Yeah.
But that's also because A$AP Rocky is literally on his own. He's I know he's accomplished, but he's really not famous these days for anything other than being Rihanna's partner.
But the Rihanna of it all
makes it huge,
yet it wasn't. Which I think was also probably good for the case, because then it's sometimes when it gets so big, the judge feels like he has to make an example, and and people start. So I think
operating under the radar is good.
Yeah.
The way you just said good, you sounded like Tamara. I don't think he's good for you.
What did I say?
You said, I think it's good. You just said good weird.
Oh, okay. So can I?
I don't think he's good for you.
Can I breathe or no?
Nah.
So happy for the Rocky family.
I'm glad this chapter's over for them. I wasn't into
this. It's very stressful.
Yeah, and just as somebody who was a fan of them as a couple and a family, this is not an era I was particularly into. It wasn't fabulous. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fresh. It was sad somebody got shot. I'm very much looking forward to them putting this behind them, and I'm sure they feel the same way.
Yeah. Our next story is some more legal news.
Big day for the courts.
Big day for the Claudias.
Well, big day for people who have just been waiting for Blake Lively to respond.
To do something and to...
Instead of looking guilty and hiding. Mm-hmm. And that's why I liked the SNL thing, because it's finally, even if people didn't like it, people like people who fight back and defend themselves.
Yeah.
And so she did that in the public way at SNL, and now she's doing it in the courts.
So Blake Lively has filed an amended complaint against Justin Baldoni, saying it wasn't just me who felt uncomfortable. Blake Lively says Justin Baldoni not only sexually harassed her, but he also made 2 other women feel uncomfortable on the set of It Ends With Us, and both are willing to testify against him at trial, according to a new court filing. Last night, Blake filed an amended complaint to her original lawsuit against Justin, which lays out new allegations that paint him in a negative light. In the 141-page document, she says she was not alone in complaining about Baldoni and raising concerns about his behavior during their work together on the movie produced by Sony and Wayfarer starting in 2023. She says he, quote, acknowledged the complaints in writing at the time, which runs contrary to his current narrative that he has, quote, invented. Blake says Justin knew that women other than Miss Lively were also uncomfortable and had complained about his behavior.
Now, the Hollywood Reporter states that the 2 actresses who had complained about Justin's behavior, they said unconfirmed, but sources are saying that it's Jenny Slate and that young blonde girl Isabella who played young Lily.
Yes, there aren't many other women in the movie.
That's true. I mean, it could have been an extra. Like,
it could have been extras, but when it comes to like leading female actresses who were working with Justin on an everyday basis, like there really aren't that many.
That's actually such a good point. Like, I guess by default, it has to be them.
Like, who else could it be in a leading role? And I'm just going back to the book. Like, there's...
Did it say leading?
No, it didn't. But like in a way that like more than an extra.
Like Lily's mom.
Not the waitress at a restaurant, even though that was Atlas.
Lily's mom.
That's literally the only woman in the book.
Yeah.
Other than these three.
Well, I think also it's easy to...
We know Jenny Slate has beef.
Correct. She unfollowed him. She's been very distant. She's vocally supported Blake Lively. So I think that if we had to guess, I would have guessed her.
It's a good guess.
It's a good guess. So the thing is, I feel like as somebody who has up until this point definitely not been on Team Justin, it's nice to see Blake like defending herself. But at the end of the day, like I do feel like she's lost already. And I don't know what she could say, what she could prove, what she could file that would change people's minds, honestly.
Well, this definitely helps her case.
I know, but like people don't believe that she was sexually harassed.
It doesn't matter what people believe. I mean, yes, it does, but like her case.
Yeah, no, by the way, and I'm very curious to see like what the law says, but right now we're in the streets. Like we're in the media. Just when they did the SNL thing, there was like literally 100 articles the next day that were all negative about Blake. Like she's losing.
If people don't believe that she was sexually harassed, people don't believe that, period. If there are two other women on set who come forward and say that they experienced sexual harassment as well, that is a major
difference.
Check in her column and corroborating her story. That just is. So if that happened, that changes things.
Yeah, and if
people refuse to
believe
see
all three
it or believe it, then that's on them. But like that changes the story because then it's not just like Blake's perception or her experience. It's a pattern, and there's literally only 3 young women on the set.
Right. One of whom is 23, which is like, and it's like her first time in Hollywood, her first big gig, like how traumatizing.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, of course.
Frog got your throat? Classic Jax. Take a sip of
choked
the
on
coffee.
No, I'm seriously like choking on all my own fluids these days. Like my own food, my own saliva, my own vomit. It's really just been an amazing time. Being a woman is amazing.
Take a sip of something, perhaps?
Yeah.
Perchance. I think someone's bringing you a water also because I know you don't like the coffee today.
I'm okay. Thank you so much. I had so much drama.
So much drama.
As somebody who has just kind of been waiting for Blake Lively to do something, I'm extremely grateful that she just kind of stepped her pussy up.
This is definitely, a big check for Team Blake that she is responding, that it seems like, there's more where this comes from.
Yeah, and the thing is the whole time to me is that people have been going back and forth on like everybody's personalities, but something that you really couldn't deny because it was both in her claim and then his lawsuit was like agreeing that this meeting had happened after the SAG-AFTRA strike, being like, before we come back to work, like we all need to agree that like these things need to stop happening. And he agreed to it. So to me, isn't that like an admission that Blake was telling the truth?
Not necessarily. I feel like I could see different ways that could happen if like, assuming she's a liar, which I'm not saying that she is, but like, let's say this person's a liar. They might have had a meeting. Justin just wants to get this movie done.
Right, like, so he just agrees to stuff.
Agree, whatever. Like,
right.
Just do your job.
Right.
There's a million things that could have happened. To me, that's not...
Like a confirmation.
No, not anymore. No.
Okay. To me, it was. And I'm very curious if this at all moves the needle for people who thought Blake Lively was lying about being sexually harassed.
I think that we're back in the game. We've got a match now. Yeah.
But have you seen it change the rhetoric online?
I read rhetoric online and I don't know if I'm in my own echo chamber or I only follow people who are like of sound mind. I don't get a bunch of like idiots and their opinions because I don't give a shit. And
your algorithm knows better.
My algorithm knows better. So I'm not like following the ping pong match of public opinion, but as someone in my own, I was I'm not very much anything on this. I was moving over here. Now I'm moving.
Swayed.
And now I think we've got ourselves a match when it was looking very uneven.
So you represent like the undecided contingency. And so you think that this, at least a little bit, is like momentum in Blake's.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Like for me, I'm like, okay, Blake's back in the game.
I also just think it's kind of a big deal.
Not that it's a game. This is very serious allegations.
Of course.
It's a metaphor.
I do think it's a big deal that these two girls would agree to testify. Because honestly, after watching this whole thing, who the fuck would want to get involved?
Yes, but that's where principles come in.
Scruples.
And it's nice when people are scrupled and they're like, I can't see this go down this way. What's unfortunate is like, it's Hollywood and there aren't any scruple. There's not a scruple to be found. And it's like, oh, well, I don't care if Blake goes down. I'm not going down with her. I got,
my career to think about.
I've got movies to shoot. So I think that sometimes it's like when you see something wrong happening, you can't help but speak up. And it doesn't.
Especially if you were a victim yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to just burying it down, maybe like a studio will be like, if you don't, we got you here.
Right. I don't know why I just think so low of people in Hollywood. I think that like, speaking your truth is admirable.
Yes, but I also sometimes like sometimes you have to speak up. Like,
it'll kill you.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. I feel like sometimes that happens to people.
You're only as sick as your secrets. It's literally like what I think about what Lisa Rinna said all the time.
What did she say?
She randomly and people were like, she's so crazy. Like, it'll like, if I don't say this thing, she's like, it's going to give me cancer. It's like, and it was like dumb what she was talking about. But things like that like make you physically ill.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel that way sometimes where it's like, I don't care what this means. Like, I'm going to say it because it's so wrong not to.
Right. You feel compelled by just like your ethics.
Your conscience. Yeah. And I think that
conscience is a powerful thing.
It is when you have one.
Correct.
So we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, I am curious. I mean, this was only filed this morning, so like there hasn't been enough time for opinions to change or just like rhetoric to change. I am really curious. To me, the most interesting part, and this is not interesting, obviously it's like a tragedy, but the most interesting part of this whole saga is like seeing how it plays out on social media, especially like with the allegations of astroturfing or whatever. I'd be very curious to see like if this at all moves the needle. And I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday about how like this entire It Ends With Us drama is a woman's issue, right? It was women who read the book and made it popular. It was women who went and saw the movie. It's women who are sitting around having these conversations. Like, I don't know what two straight guys who are talking about, like, did you see the counterclaim that Blake Lively dropped? So this is very much like a women's issue about an issue that affects mostly women, sexual harassment, domestic violence, things like that. And so it has been wildly interesting to see conversations being had about it, all by women, and how Blake wasn't really universally believed. Whereas like up until this point, it was, believe women and things of that nature. And that's not the case here. So it's just been like a kind of a social experiment to watch.
Yeah, I guess things are changing in that sense. But I do think, this blanket believe women, like women could lie. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't really work and probably never did. And they could also be telling the truth, but just like you got to back it up a little, like, Mm-hmm. Our next story, Mindy Kaling got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She brought BJ Novak with her.
Alleged baby daddy Novak.
Well, they call him the Godfather.
The BD Novak.
He's her children's godfather. She has not shared like who her children's father is, so of course people think.
I just want to say, as like Mindy Kaling's #1 fan, I actually don't think that BJ Novak is her baby's father. One, because if he was, like, you wouldn't make him the Godfather. Two, it's a little complicated, No,
you would make him the Godfather. Like, you want him to have a role in your kids' lives. He's obviously not taking on the role of father because he doesn't want to, like, or else you'd be a family. Like, not everyone who gives their sperm, like, wants to be a full-time dad, but, like, wants to help out a friend in need and procreate.
Yeah, I just think, like, a lot of women...
I think Godfather is exactly what you'd call him.
Just kind of, like, to cover it up.
No, not even cover it up, but, like, give that person a role in your children's life.
But then it's also just, like, Uncle BJ. Like, he doesn't need to be so official,
I don't know. Those titles are transient, uncle. Like, if he's the Godfather, he's always the Godfather.
There were also rumors a few years ago that they had stopped being friends. So I feel like it's such an unnecessary complication. If you're like a woman of a certain age and certain success who wants to have children on her own, like, there's so many options for you as opposed to... And they're like good options, where you can like get really vetted sperm and things like that. To go the route of somebody personally adds a real layer of complications that some people don't have the luxury of. Like, it's expensive to do it the other way.
Yeah.
Mindy Kaling has that option. So
you don't think a trusted friend is preferred?
Well, a trusted friend in Hollywood, like everybody's a snake. They did have like a brief period where they weren't speaking. I just think Mindy Kaling's like a little smarter than that. I really don't think that he's the father. You are not the father.
I don't know enough to say, but I think he would be a great choice. Like, for her, for a trusted friend would be preferred to anonymous, right?
Yeah, but like anonymous sperm, like when you go through like the proper channels, like, yeah, it's technically like a stranger, but it's like super vetted. It's really...
Yes, no. It's a beautiful thing.
And it's a good option.
So is a trusted friend.
Yeah, but it's a good option, with no potential complications. Unless, I do always wonder, like 23andMe.
Yeah.
how that affects sperm donors.
Yeah, no, it affects them all the time. You don't see all these stories. Man had
Yeah.
80 kids. They all got together for a reunion. They're all best friends.
It's literally a documentary on Hulu.
It's also a movie with Vince Vaughn.
Yes, it is.
That's like people's favorite trope is like the sperm donor in college who
Right.
has 100 kids.
Right.
I feel like we do talk about it enough.
Okay. Well, I guess the point of the story is not who her dad is.
Dear
but
Toasters. Also, I want to say there's been like a lot of conspiracies. I've seen a lot of chatter that like Dear Toasters
is an industry plant.
is like fabricated.
Mm-hmm.
Either we make them up or other people make them up. I need to say we've never made up a Dear Toasters in our lives. Now, if people are writing in with fake stories, we could smell out. Like there are some that are so stupid, we don't choose them. I've never ever thought that. Everything that we read, I'm like, that's a tough situation.
1,000%. I've never thought that. By the way, give me a Bible. We have never, ever made up a submission.
Never. We would just not, if we weren't getting submissions, we would just not do it. We'd say there's no demand, like problem solved.
Also, I do want to say that this is a great opportunity that last week there was a Dear Toasters about a girl who read through her husband's text with his mother, and he was like being really weird about their sex life. And it didn't occur to either of us, but so many people in the comments were like, girls, it's probably not his mom that he's texting. It's like a girl, a hooker, and he's put her name in as mom because like no one's going to read that text being like, oh, he's cheating on me with his mother. And I thought that was a good call. I didn't think of it as a potential.
He was talking about his wife. He was talking about like
sex with his wife.
Yeah, so maybe it was a sex therapist that he wrote mom because he didn't want her to know. But I don't think it was. That's not how you talk to your mistress.
I'm just saying. It was a good theory.
It's not. It's devoid of facts. He was talking about his wife.
Yeah, but like people are freaks. Like,
I think if anything, it was like a little, mother's helper.
But, well, that's what we thought. Like normal people.
Or like maybe a hooker that is helping you
through a tough time.
Get more intimate with your wife. Like it's all in service to the wife. It's not just an affair. It's not as cut and dry.
It's kind of like Pretty Woman.
No.
Yeah, because at first it was just, an exchange. But then it's true love.
No, it's kind of like nothing I've ever seen.
No, you know what it is? You ever see that movie with Helen Hunt? She plays a sex therapist.
Okay.
For like paraplegics or people who are like physically unable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's called The Sessions. And
that sounds like what it is.
Her name is Cheryl Green. She's a sex surrogate. It's actually based on a true story. And I forget her patient. He's like paraplegic or something. And of course they end up falling in love. It's very beautiful. So it's kind of like that.
That's really beautiful. Okay. Well, we'll just have to wait for the
update. Kind of a love story for the ages.
Also, just check the phone number of the contact mom. Like, it's very simple stuff.
Give it a ring. The story at hand is that Mindy Kaling got a
star on the Walk of Fame, earned.
Oh, earned beyond. I can't believe she didn't even have one. If not just for her like self as an actress, when you think about like Mindy Project,
Producer.
The Office, what she's contributed to modern television, Sex Lives of College Girls.
She's doing Legally Blonde 2 if it ever comes out.
3. And Never Have I Ever on Netflix. Like true queen.
Yeah. So it's her time. And of course, like she should already have one, but like she has to get one. Like everyone has their time.
No, and the process of the Hollywood Walk of Fame is so weird. It's not like what you would think. And the people who get it, like it's always so delayed. I think they have like a really high bar, which I appreciate.
Yeah, no, I think you have to be extremely established to the point where it's like, how did they not have one already?
Right, unignorable.
Yeah, and so I think that's good. There's no one that's just like a flash in the pan, even the 10-year flash.
Yeah.
I want a 20-year flash.
When are the Oscars? Don't you feel like
they were postponed
because of the fires?
Yeah.
I just feel like I've stopped caring.
I feel like they're typically in March, and it's still February.
That feels right.
Yeah. You can't stop caring. You watched all those bad movies.
I know. For what? Like I watched Amelia Perez and Love is Blind. Netflix cut me a check for the time that I've wasted losing brain cells with your content.
Yeah.
Penis to vagina, vagina to penis. So that was such a good song. Should we stream it?
If you want.
Do you know what the song is called? Like the title of the song? You're going to be shocked.
Labiaplasty?
Very close. La vaginoplasty.
So it's just the Spanish version of labiaplasty.
Sorry, excuse me. La vaginoplastia. Feminine. The feminine plastia.
Stream it. Oh, you're going to play it.
Can I not?
You're going to wind up paying Netflix.
Oh, you think we'll get...
After they should be paying you.
Okay, so I'll forget it.
Let's
I got in trouble.
To our next story. You're just feeling bold because you have a computer.
I feel different. You know, I'm wearing my sunglasses.
You're like Jamie on Joe Rogan, just like looking things up.
I'm literally like Tim Dillon, and you are... What's his assistant's name? Like Ben?
Yeah, for sure, Ben.
Something about sunglasses and podcasting is a special breed. I actually spoke to Tim Dillon this morning because he like said it was funny that I looked like him. And I get why he does it. You definitely feel like a different person. You can like kind of say shit because your eyes are covered.
You have a layer of protection. Can't see the haters.
It also feels like anonymous, like people who like tell you to kill yourself and like anonymously comment it. Like I kind of understand them right now because I have sort of this like sheet over me.
You have anonymity.
Yeah. My name is Claudia Oshry.
And I'm wearing sunglasses.
Yeah. If it feels like I'm acting different, that's why. Should I take them off and see like if my vibe changes?
Sure. And I'd love to see those beautiful eyes.
I'm like the nerd who takes off his glasses and everybody realizes he's handsome.
It's true.
A princess.
Archie.
How do I look? Smile. Don't smile.
Take off your sunglasses.
Don't take off your sunglasses. What should I do? I know like when I go back and watch the episode, whatever I do, I'm gonna be like, I should have kept them on or I should have taken them off.
Should we plug in the monitor? Even though we never look at the monitor?
No.
Okay. I'll move on to the next story. So just like leave them on. I'll make the decision. That way, if you regret it, you could blame me.
What's the number story?
4.
Parch.
Nike teams up with Kim Kardashian shapewear brand Skims as it looks to reach more women. So Nike and Skims have signed like a serious partnership, a long-term partnership to launch a new brand called Nike Skims.
I just feel like they really could have workshopped the name.
I agree. It's one word, capital N, lowercase I-K-E, capital Skims. Nike Skims.
Should be called like Psyche.
Or
Nims.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not a good name.
I don't know. They love a name like this, though. This is so Nike Skims.
There's too many Ks.
There's 2 Ks.
It's like, it's a bumpy word, Nike Skims.
It's weird.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Especially if you were to lowercase everything, it's like Nikeskims.
Nikeskims. If we were to pronounce things the way they should be pronounced.
Nikeskims. That's why they had to do all this this capitalization. Otherwise, it's Nikeskims.
And what about an X, like Nike X Skims? That also is chunky.
It's not really an X at this point because
it's its
like,
own company.
Yeah, they're not. It's not a short-term collaboration. It's a new brand. The new brand will include a collection of apparel, footwear, and accessories that will debut this spring with a global rollout planned for 2026. Now, I think this is really great for Kim's wallet,
for Kimself,
and also for the customers when like they just did a collab with North Face. I know Margot Oshry got some things, but like it sells out in 2 seconds. Like Nike is great for distribution. They have 1 million stores. They have a lot of product, like whatever they make, people will be able to get it. And I think it will be like top quality fabric. I think this is really just makes a lot of sense. It's so great for Nike because Skims is so cool. And it's so great for Skims because Nike is so legit.
And Skims has been doing a couple of things that like really are moving them out of just like the women's underwear space and into all different things. Like they're the official underwear of the NBA. Like if you watch any NBA game, their logo's literally on the court. It's so crazy. So this is just like adding an air of legitimacy to Skims while also further entering this like kind of sports world for some reason.
Like
that's
performance wear.
Performance, yeah. So the name is so terrible, but the concept is not a bad idea. Although I don't understand what they're making.
What kind of business you in?
Like socks?
Apparel, footwear. Oh, sneakers.
Right.
Nike makes sneakers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And like maybe they'll have like a cool like they're comparing this to like Jordan.
Yes.
Like she is the Michael Jordan of women. I mean, it could be men's too, but like I think when you think of it for women, like Michael Jordan is to Nike is to men what Kim Kardashian will be to Nike to women.
Hopefully.
I think that feels right.
And in an age where like kind of everybody's really pushing women's sports, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA, things of that nature, Simone Biles, it's a good time. Lots of momentum for the, who do we think is going to be the face?
Oh, I mean, like it should be Kim because to me, like the Caitlin Clark, like she has her own shoe. This isn't that.
Right.
To me, this is like competes with Aloe and women's athleisure. That's what it feels like to me.
I mean, that space is huge, like Aloe, Lululemon.
Yeah. Because Caitlin Clark has her own shoe. This isn't for like, I mean, maybe they'll have women's athletes a part of it, but this feels different.
Okay, that's actually a good point. I see it. Now I understand what you're saying. The name really needs to be better because
like she is the face. She is the Jordan.
Yeah.
Allie, you.
Right.
I want to see a logo of her.
And she's so like fit, sports, workout.
Yeah.
But the name is really bad. Now that I'm kind of understanding what it is, and if you are competing in that like wellness, women's wear, athleisure space, which is so big, Nike Skims is like such a harsh, ugly name. Whereas like Aloe,
It's not a
Lululemon,
bad name because it's like
recognizable
facts.
brands.
It's Nike and Skims, like whatever. But it doesn't roll off the tongue.
It's not Pargy.
It's not Pargy.
And when you're not Pargy, you're largy. You know, you're nargy.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Makes me sad.
But maybe, who knows, maybe in meetings they'll start to call it a nickname, then it'll rebrand.
What do you think is the opposite, the antonym of Pargy? Nargy? Nargy.
I guess.
We need to workshop it. Sound off in the comments, you guys. What's the opposite? What's the
yucky.
The antonym.com of Pargy? I guess it would be yucky. I just wanted it to rhyme.
Yeah, but I feel like if it rhymes, then it's part of the Pargy world. Everything that rhymes with Pargy is Pargy.
Gargy.
Pargy.
Yeah.
Pargy, Margy.
So it inherently needs to not rhyme.
It's yucky. I think in Toast lingo, it's yucky.
Now, before we dive into the fifth and final story, and of course the TV recap that we haven't even begun to get into yet. Oh my God. Holy shit, are you okay?
That's how long COVID.
Literally. Smoker's cough. Now that you're commuting to work, it's a perfect place to have a cigarette.
It's so true. That would really enhance my vibe.
Are you vaping again?
No. Oh my gosh, yucky.
Yeah, yucky. Who would want to vape?
Gross.
Today's episode is brought to you by K18 Hair. Their leave-in molecular repair hair mask is the viral leave-in peptide treatment that reverses hair damage in 4 minutes. So I feel like for a while we all just sort of like accepted that we were using heat on our hair and like ruining our hair, and like that was it. There was nothing
It
that
is
could
what
be.
it is.
Like there was nothing that could be done about it. It was our lot in life. Enter K18 being like, no, actually, you want to treat your hair like crapola with heat, with chemicals? Fine, we are going to help you. So it's a healthy hair solution that works at the deepest molecular level for lasting repair on all hair types. It's clinically proven to repair damage from bleach and color, chemical surfaces, heat, all the things that you're using to express yourself. Obviously, right now I'm going through a time where I'm not putting heat on my hair because it's been so terrible, but I pretty much use heat on my hair every single day. And it's kind of a bad feeling to know you're actively like working against your hair, but you need it to feel pretty. K18 was like, listen, you don't have to hate yourself. We're going to help you. So in just 4 minutes, you're going to get stronger, smoother, softer, bouncier hair like new, no matter what you put your hair through again and again. It's a great thing to like pop in right before a shower, or sometimes when I'm in a bath, I'll do it and like sit within the bath. It's like a nice, good use of time management. You can find K18 at local Sephora's and feel the difference for yourself. Major shout out to TikTok for introducing me to K18. That was like a hair brand I started using. And then when I found out about this molecular repair hair mask, I've never really been into hair masks. I feel like a lot of them don't do much, but I love the concept of this, like to undo damage from heat, from chemicals. I know a lot of our listeners color their hair, which is so fun and fresh. It's can be really damaging for your hair. So check out the leave-in molecular repair hair mask from K18. You can find K18 at your local store, Sephora store, and feel the difference for yourself. And you can use our code TOAST at k18hair.com for 10% off your first order at k18hair.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by the Farmer's Dog. So this new year, healthy habits don't just apply to humans. Give your dog a fresh start too. The Farmer's Dog makes feeding real healthy dog food easy and convenient, and your dog will absolutely love it. Their meals come pre-portioned, they are personalized for your dog's needs, and it makes it really simple to help your dog reach and maintain a healthy weight. So if you've ever thought about making the switch to real healthy dog food, now is the time. The Farmer's Dog is kind of the first and best company to be doing fresh, healthy food for dogs. It can seem overwhelming. Like, how do I know how much to give? They do everything at the Farmer's Dog. So when you sign up, you will tell them a lot about your dog, and then they will send you pre-portioned meals so you don't have to worry about overfeeding them, underfeeding them. What makes the Farmer's Dog so different is that the food is developed by on-staff, board-certified vets and veterinary nutritionists, so it's complete and balanced. The food is made from human-grade real meat, vegetables. They are gently cooked with the safety and quality of human food. Even the best traditional dry and wet dog food options are highly processed. Pet food is very loosely regulated, so they can literally put whatever they want in there and just and lie, basically. So the Farmer's Dog is...
You ain't nothing but a liar.
Don't get us copyrighted, please. Not during the ads. It doesn't matter if your dog is young or old. It's always the right time to start investing in their health, and that means more happy, healthy, and full years together. So get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/toast. Plus, if you use that link, you're going to get free shipping, but only when you go to thefarmersdog.com/toast to get 50% off. That's thefarmersdog.com/toast. Today's episode is also brought to you by Faye. So if you promised yourself you'd eat better in 2025, but already are failing at it, there's nothing wrong with getting some help to meet your goals, especially if you feel really overwhelmed by diet culture, weight loss plans, We're really excited to be partnering with Faye. So if your your relationship with food could use an upgrade, Faye is a revolutionary platform that connects you with your own personal registered dietitian, making expert nutrition guidance accessible and affordable. So whether you're looking for help losing weight, improving your general health, and managing a health condition, Faye has a dietitian that's right for you. And the best part is that all dietitians on Faye accept insurance. With over 700 insurance plans accepted, you will likely pay $0 out of pocket. So if you're tired of a one-size-fits-all diet plan, nutritional advice, dietitians on Faye are going to work with you one-on-one to create a custom program that is tailored specifically to your needs. It's much more than just a diet plan. Their dietitians are focusing on clinically proven methods to improve your relationship with food and instill positive long-term habits. 93% of Faye clients reported an improved relationship with food. 85% reached their target weight. A third-party study showed that clients lose 2.9 times more weight working with a dietitian through Faye compared to comparable weight loss programs. So their dietitians specialize in over 30 areas like weight loss, sports nutrition, women's health like PCOS, postpartum, gut health, eating disorders. If you want to achieve lasting results with the help of a registered dietitian through Faye, listen up. Because listeners of The Toast can qualify to see if a registered dietitian for as little as $0 by visiting faynutrition.com/toast. That's FAYnutrition.com/toast. Faynutrition.com/toast. Make sure to use that link so they know that we sent you.
Thank you, Turt.
You're welcome.
Our fifth and final story, a little flirtatious news. Who knows what it means? But Glen Powell and Lily Lily James.
I loved Lily James in Downton Abbey.
You did? I don't know if she was right for the role.
Her role specifically, like the annoying younger
Rose,
cousin, was so fucking annoying. I take it back. You're right. She was dreadful.
Glen Powell and Lily James, though, break into a fit of giggles as they leave a BAFTAs party together. So Glen Powell and Lily James were photographed in a car in the back of an SUV together leaving the BAFTAs. They walked out at the same time but separately. So we don't have photos of them walking together, but like she's wearing his jacket. They get
getting in the same car.
They get into the same car and like they're laughing.
So they're in love. There has been a lot of speculation about who Glen Powell's going to date because on his rise to fame, he was in a relationship for a pretty long time. So he never was able to like use his celebrity and his dating life to catapult him to another life, because that's always how it happens. And he really is like this big time Hollywood movie star, really one of the most eligible young men. There was like those rumors about him and Sydney Sweeney, but like he wasn't dating her.
That was fake.
So we've never really seen him in a celebrity relationship. This is the first time.
If it's a relationship.
Let's operate like it is. Let's talk like it is.
I don't think that it is. I think that they were at the same party. They like got along and they're going to the next place together. Where it goes from there, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't consider that there would be another party after this party. I just figured they would be going home.
Like nightcap, we're going to someone's place. And
that's very sexy nightcap.
In the moment, just the two of us. They're like, this is good for both of us. Like, let's get in the same car.
Right.
Why should we not? Like, even if this goes nowhere and they just either like hooked up or whatever, like, this is good. This is good.
Well, okay. So you're being like a little critical, which is important.
Wait, me saying this is good is critical.
Sorry, you're thinking critically.
Cynical?
No, you're thinking critically.
Okay.
Like you're saying it wasn't like this whirlwind romance, but I want to talk about it like it is.
Okay.
Like let's say these two
are together.
Or even just like casually dating. I love it so much, because I've been waiting for Glen Powell to do something like this. And I like that he didn't, like we would have thought so. Even the Sydney Sweeney thing, I'm like, it's so obvious, like two hot young people. Like Lily James is very much an accomplished actress. And I think that Glen Powell really wants to be taken seriously as like a one day, like an Oscar level actor. And I think that him, swimming in the same pools, BAFTA, London, Lily James, like it's pargy. It's well thought out. I like it.
I actually, the more I think about this, like, I think it's nothing. I think Glen Powell likes to be seen with talking to Gracie Abrams, talking to Sydney Sweeney.
I forgot about that.
Like, I love him as an actor, but I just feel like he kind of loves these moments and they mean nothing to him. And I don't know what he's actually up to.
Wow. So you hate Glen Powell? That sounds like what you're saying. Like you think low of Glen Powell.
No, because what he actually might be up to might be something amazing.
That he's not sharing with us?
Yeah. Or not. Or like he's using these young women for clout.
Glen would never.
Clout chaser.
No, Jackie, let me tell you something.
Claudia, I love him.
I know. Like, I'm really shocked to hear you say this.
No, I'm just like, until he's like really with someone, I'm seeing a lot of this. Party, having fun. I like being spotted with you. It's like a good moment on Dumois.
That's fair, and I like that for him. What, only girls can do that? You'd love to see men in women-dominated fields. Like, this is fun.
Yeah.
This is fun. And as he should, like, I like when people use their dating life to catapult their careers. Like, I think that's really an interesting way of getting famous and of rising your star. And Glen has the roles. You know, he has the looks, but he needs like a Hollywood starlet.
And he needs like a personal life that we can all get invested in, because I don't know what Glen does. That's what I'm saying.
And so, by the way, this is him getting us invested. Like, we talked about Gracie Abrams very briefly. This is something new. We have a picture now. Like, he is actually taking us with him. You don't see it. You don't understand Glen like I do.
I don't see the vision. Like, where does Glen even live? What does Glen even do?
I think Glen lives in Austin. I think he's kind of like a local hometown hero. Mm-hmm. In terms of what he does, I know he loves his family. You know, all he does is hang out with his mom and his friends. And he soaks up each other's awesomeness. That's what I think. I think he's
stressed out.
Wow. And it's important that we not read into this too much.
I think he's cultivated like this perfect image. Because
he's
image. He's so perfect. Like, I love him. He's so perfect.
Yeah.
And it must be like so hard to live up to that. Like, what if Glen Powell is imperfect?
And does Glen have a bad day?
I'm sure Glen has bad days and he's not allowed. And I'm sure he's one of these actors where his team is like, Glen, get up.
Yeah. Even though I could also see Glen having a really good team around him.
I don't know. I could see him really getting sucked into a toxic whirlpool.
I just feel like you want something sinister to be going on here with Glen, and I can like almost tell you for certain that there's not. Like, he's just like a guy.
Just laughing after the BAFTAs is what you're saying?
He's catching a ride home, okay?
With a pretty girl?
Pretty girls need to get home too. Or he's just being a gentleman, taking her home. Like, maybe her car got lost or whatever.
I mean, the jacket. Like, they're telling us something.
Yeah, by the way, the jacket, okay. Not you turning me into a hater, but the jacket is giving staged.
It's a little, yeah.
Especially because...
Not to say that they don't get along and that they're not going to have a fun night together, but they want us to know that.
Let's talk about the jacket, because actually there's no way she needed the jacket inside the party. Like, parties are often really warm. And so, okay, she needed the jacket to walk from the curb to the car, where the car obviously has heat if it's cold in London right now. Like,
and look at the girl behind her shivering. Like, Glen didn't give her a jacket.
Okay, so it was cold. That looks like, I literally thought it was Paige DeSorbo.
It's February.
So it's
in
cold.
London.
Wait, let me see the pictures. Pass the iPad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you know me, I love to like... Oh.
What are you thinking now?
Let me just give me a minute, because a picture says 1,000 words and there's like 11 pictures.
So we have 11,000 words.
Glen Powell is so hot. Like, that's the first thing I'm thinking. The party was inside, so there's no way she needed the jacket inside. And also, to be clear, she's wearing a blazer, so it's like two jackets.
But it's a
crop
top, so her belly might have been cold. You know, belly's not the right word.
She kind of reminds me and looks like, I'm sure we've said this before, who is her celebrity doppelganger?
She has one.
Grace Van Patten.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like a lot alike. Like, I could see them playing like sisters in a film
or something. In a twisted film where one goes missing and the other's pretending to be her.
Correct.
They should make that movie. They did make that movie. A Simple Favor.
Yeah, we just watched
it.
Yeah, I don't know. So they first met in 2018. They played a married couple in something called the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society.
Wait, I was about the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society. It's based on a book, and I was going to read it. It's on my want to read.
Oh man,
it's a historical fiction book.
Yeah, so they
Wait, now I have to read it and watch the movie starring the two of them.
So they could also just be friends. Like, they worked together in 2018. The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. Mm-hmm. That's far too long of a name for a film, and that's why it wasn't successful.
It's quirky, and no, I think it was like a very popular book. Ooh, this looks so good. It's a historical fiction book. I think it's like World War II, and you know how the Potato Peel Society was affected by like probably rations and like lack of potatoes.
The rations.
How does that affect a society? It's giving kitchen front. If you're a redhead, that means something to you.
And if you're not, it's time for the Love is Blind recap, where Jackie and I are going...
if you're not reading.
Right. You're watching the most dreadful season of a show that once was good. And I feel like, obviously we talk about this all the time. Like, some seasons are really amazing and some are fine.
Yeah.
There's never been one that's like unwatchable.
I just want to say though, the seasons being amazing happens after the pods. Like, one of my favorite seasons is Jimmy and Chelsea and Jessica.
Yep.
And it didn't get amazing until all that stuff happened back in North Carolina at the lake and the honeymoon.
Yeah, but I don't remember the pod episodes feeling like teeth being pulled.
But they're always not the most interesting. Now, it's unfortunate they have so many pod episodes. It is what it is. But whether this season will be good or not, we can't say. I will say, though, that the trailer for this season, like, someone saw me on Instagram and he knew what I looked like. And that's the clip that I'm seeing. Do you want me to tell you who it is? Does it even matter? Because this already happened.
Don't tell me.
Okay, one of the girls.
No, I said don't tell me.
No, but I'm not going to tell you who.
Oh, yeah, okay.
One of the girls is talking to camera. They obviously got together and
With
she's
someone.
in one of the apartments. And she was like, when I saw him, like I knew that he actually followed me on Instagram like a few months ago or whatever. I remember seeing his profile. I remember seeing a photo of him in front of a Christmas tree or something. So like she remembered what he looked like. And she was like, and all this stuff is in my Instagram bio about things that I like. And I think that he knew who I was and what I looked like and maybe tailored all of his answers.
That's so romantic.
However, nothing that's in your Instagram bio should be enough for someone to convince you that you're in love with them.
Right, like how long is your bio?
No, but it's like when you're going to get married to someone based on conversations, like it should be about more than like, I like pizza too.
Right.
You know? So he shouldn't have even been able to really
Glean.
get ya by just that. So I feel like she'll probably break up with him because she's obviously like, she said, my gut, I have to trust my gut. But I'm sorry, like if you fell for that,
Ooh.
you fell for it.
Well, in the first 2 episodes, we only get one engagement, and then the first reveal happens in the first couple of minutes of the 3rd episode, which I did watch.
Who is it?
Joey, who is the long-haired
Oh,
golden
they're
retriever.
perfect for each other. And Monica.
They are perfect for each other. The reveal was butt-clenchingly cringe, but because they're matching each other's level of like freaky. That it all went well. It's not cringe for anything bad. I actually think they are a good couple.
I just want to say the first reveal is always the strongest couple.
Yes,
and
I think that's coming through.
They are. They had like actually good conversations about things that a couple should talk about, and they are physically matched.
Now, I had an actual physical reaction to something one of the girls said, and she's probably she's definitely my least favorite person on the show because every time she talks, it's exactly what you and I were saying at the top of this show. Like, it's you say something really bland and boring, and you act like it's revolutionary conversation. And it's the girl who said she like listened to Joe Rogan and the Ant Farm.
Yeah,
and she was like, and maybe natural disasters are just like somebody superior beings, and somebody shaking up our ant farm. And then she kind of like left it silent for him to be like, whoa. And I was like, are you fucking dumb? Like, it was seriously like, she was like, I have a lot of like high sober thoughts. I'm sober, but like I think like a high person. I'm like, oh, you're so crazy.
Yeah, if someone said those things to me, I'd say, have a good day, sir. Like, and I'd walk out of the room.
Not a match.
And my question is like, so he's kind of like down. He's like, yeah, Ant Farm, oh, totally. And are 2 people who are both Ant Farm people, like, should they be together or no? Like, I feel like opposites attract, and it's nice to have common interests, but at what point are you just dating yourself and you're not supposed to do that?
I don't know if there's room in a relationship for 2 Ant Farm people.
Right, but I feel like
I don't know if somebody who's not an Ant Farm person can sleep next to somebody who is.
I completely agree.
It's a really good question you ask. I don't know. See, these are bottom of the barrel conversations that we're having about these people. They have given us nothing. Now, I know we're only 2 episodes in, and I would like to ask permission from our audience. Like, please let us stop watching this. It's genuine psychological torture. It's uninteresting people. There's no drama. Now, there are people who are having mutual connections. So like Dave, who's this guy who's like an asshole, but then was really nice. And like
there's always a Dave, a guy who's Leo. Like doesn't think, yeah, but Leo was like super transparent and almost like funny. No, remember that guy who was it that got with him? No.
Shane?
AD was talking to this guy.
Not
the one she ended up with.
Okay.
Matthew.
Yeah, of course.
He's a Matthew where it's like he thinks he's too good to be on the show, but he's going through the experiment, but it will not work out for him because ultimately he thinks it's stupid.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, he has 2 connections. One, Molly, who's honestly
Matthew
a cutie.
had 2 connections as well.
Right. He's a cutie. And then he's also connecting with Lauren, who was the girl who like took a year off. She was a teacher. She wasn't making a livable wage. She is vibing with Dave, and she, at the end of the episode too, like finds out that Molly is too. And it's like, oh my God, it's almost like that's the concept of this fucking show.
Right.
And when somebody's like, I feel like Molly says to her, I feel like we don't have the same connection, so I can tell you, like, I'm really vibing with Dave.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's like literally talking to the other woman. Her face, like, she's so back dressed, like, I can't be here. Like, I can't be here. That's the whole point of the show.
Yeah. Who do you think he should pick, and who do you think he will pick?
I don't think you should pick either of them. I don't think that either of them are well suited because I don't think the person we're seeing is like really who he is.
Right.
I think we got little glimpses. Like, I work in medical aesthetics. Like, I'm around a lot of Botox. Who the fuck says that? Like,
yeah.
And also, what does that mean? People having very vague jobs. I work in medical aesthetics. do you engineer Botox, or are you the receptionist at a med spa?
Well, and then his description says medical sales, so I think he like sells parts for cosmetology.
And then the NBA dancer, she says she has a doctorate in healthcare administration. She's like, people are really surprised when they find out I work in a hospital and then I'm a doctor. Well, a doctor who works in a hospital is different than somebody with a doctorate.
Yeah.
So I just feel like everybody's very misleading about their jobs. But I do really like Devin.
That's who's talking to
Brittany and NBA dancer. He is like, loves his job. He loves kids. He loves basketball. He just wants everybody to love basketball and the kids as much. He's a youth sports. I really like him. I think he's like a PJam. He's just really young, and all the women he's talking to are much older.
Oh, yeah, and he went to the same high school.
And she was like, 5 years later. Okay, it's not that many years.
Yeah, but that's like crazy, but also good because they don't know each other.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I guess that's like what happens if you go to like a smaller town to do this. Like people know each other.
No, and so we need to talk about.
But I also like the small town elements because there's a lot of common ground, and sometimes people want to stay where they are and meet someone where they are. So like not everything has to be like Chicago or LA.
But we need to talk about the implications of a small town, on the personalities that come on this show, because
on the entertainment value for the show.
We always talk about how important it is, the city that they're in. And like some of the best seasons are just like these urban metropolises with people from all different walks of life. Most recently, DC was like not a good season because people in DC are weird. Like, and so I think where you're from, but then a really good season where people are really weird was like the Portland, Oregon, Seattle area. Like it was a good season. The people were freaks.
It was an okay season.
It was a good season.
At the time, it wasn't the best season, but now that we've had so much worse, we look back fondly. And they weirdly had like a couple couples.
Chelsea and Kwame.
Yeah.
That was Jimmy and Chelsea, no?
No, that was North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Okay, North Carolina was a good city too. So the city. Whatever. The city means a lot.
Yeah.
And I was actually really looking forward to Minnesota. I mean, that guy Joey, his accent is fucking crazy. Like, I don't even know what Minnesota people talk like, but he is a walking cliche. Nobody else really has that terrible of an accent. He must be like really local.
Yeah.
Or from a specific part of Minnesota, because most of them are like live in St. Paul, like downtown. And I fear it's not giving a good look for people from Minnesota. And I don't want to, paint with a broad brush, but it's so vanilla.
I think it's more the editing, and especially, they trend vanilla. And you gave us 6 episodes of pods, whereas other cities are a little more interesting, and there was only 2. So I didn't hear about your dad's steak. Like, I didn't hear about all these really, I like Taco Bell.
Your dad's steak.
Taco B. I didn't hear about every fucking tattoo that everyone has.
Oh my God, what's with the tattoos? Who cares?
They're operating at a disadvantage because they're not the most interesting and they're filling the most airtime. So it's a combination, and I don't think you can blame the Midwest.
No, and
I think the Midwest has a wonderful elk.
That's fair.
That we just are not being packaged properly.
Where are the crazy people? Like you need to sprinkle them in. And in addition to the serious people who are taking the experiment seriously, you need to have the assholes, the people who are clearly there to get famous, the people who have like really nutty personalities. There's none of that. Everybody is like so normal to the point of bored to tears.
But I will be curious to see if it yields good relationships. They're all so normal. They can all kind of work with each other. Yeah. Are we going to have a lot of marriages? That'll be interesting. As far as continuing to watch, like, of course, last night was like really hard, but I do think like the best is yet to come. And like you put in the hard work for the payoff.
But 6 episodes of pods is
there might be some fast forwarding that has to happen. And also, we'll see how people are talking about it. Like some seasons, it's like, I mean, that Chelsea season, the Megan Fox, like it was everywhere before I started watching. So if it's really gaining steam, we can continue to watch and we'll see what happens.
And whoever's idea it was to have people in the pods do a date night where they're doing silent discos, and we're obviously not listening to what they're listening to because then they put on like their generic music and we're watching them like bop it to like Selling Sunset pop music. Like seriously, stop. But seriously.
No, the funniest was Monica showing Joey how her dad dances and like she's describing it and he's doing something completely different because he can't see her. And that made me chuckle.
Oh, also Madison like twerking with the golf club.
I haven't gotten there, unfortunately. Was she doing it with Ben Platt?
She was doing it, with Mason, the cinematographer. She's like, oh, we're both artists.
Should 2 artists be together? I feel like no.
Well, who's going to pay the bills?
Right. No, but like you really have to think like opposites attract.
Yeah, okay, so she's getting like, it's obviously a late night date and she's like kind of like horny and she's being like really weird and like sexually suggestive, like telling him that her nipples are pierced. And she was like, he's like, I love mini skirts. And she was like, oh, then you would have loved my micro mini the other day. And he was like, I was talking to you and you were wearing a micro mini skirt. Why did you tell me? And then they're like also doing putt-putt as their date. And so she like holds both hands on the golf club and like shakes her ass in a mini skirt towards the wall that divides them. And he obviously can't see it. So she's like, oh, by the way, I just twerked. And he goes, you know how to twerk? Like as if she tied a cherry. Like, like she just like shook her ass. She didn't twerk. She just like.
By the textbook definition.
Textbook. She actually did not twerk. She just like did like a hip dip.
Understood.
It was painful.
I just want to say, like, I do feel like some people might have pod sex, like, you know, and they should talk about sex and
they're definitely having pod sex.
Two sexual beings, but because there's not usually 6 pod episodes, we don't see it. And I do think people should be able to have private
sex moments
and them not film it. And I feel like that this probably happens a lot, and it's unfortunate that we're seeing it because it kind of had to be there.
Yeah, it's really like been so unenjoyable thus far. Sound off in the comments.
Honestly, sounds amazing.
We are funny. And by the way, we literally each episode is like a little over an hour, so I watch like almost 2.5 hours.
It's about dollars and cents. Like it's about time spent streaming. And I'm just letting you know, Netflix, like it's bad business because I'm not going to watch a show. However, we have to make it to honeymoons because that's when you can decide. Like we watched GC till honeymoons.
It's true.
And it was still bad. But that is the best time. And maybe we'll get there slowly.
Yeah.
Maybe half an episode a night.
I hope Netflix learns from this though.
Yeah.
Because they definitely in the past have made the pods too short where like you really don't understand the people and it's hard to get really invested. So it's always dreadful. It's always like a little hard because you're like learning all these people's names.
And I just want to say like, I don't mind not understanding the people and not knowing like why they connected. I'm just going to trust you, okay? And I'll trust the process. Now give me the juice.
Now go to Guatemala. Where they go? Honduras, sorry. Get your ass to Honduras.
Get on island time. Show me the reveals.
Start sleeping in the same bed.
Also, they've made the reveals a little too long. Like where they now sit and chat.
They put a bench.
I'd stay in chat, but I don't want to stay in chat.
The bench is probably the worst thing to happen to this show because the best part of the reveals is how awkward it is that they have to stand and like be fully in gowns and meet someone new for the first time. The fact that they sit, it lets them get like a little bit more comfortable, and I don't like it. I want them to be weird.
Then it goes on longer. Like, no, I want you guys to see each other. Initial thoughts, first impression, we'll see ya on honeymoons.
Agreed. It's too much. We need to check in with them back in Honduras.
It's just too much and it's too weird. Like I clocked, I saw what they
I've seen what I needed to see.
Move it along.
Correct. All right, well, that's our show, you guys. We kind of crushed it.
Classic us.
Classic us. Anything else you want to say before we wrap?
I'm actually starting to get worried how I'm going to get my car out of the spot now.
I'll help you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
it was kind of crazy that you didn't come and help me. Or you could help me. Okay.
I literally thought the car was driving itself.
Did you see me
and every day you're always like, I parked today. I thought you knew how to park. Who doesn't know how to park?
I don't know how to parallel park.
I'm not gonna lie.
What's the point? Everywhere you go has a massive fucking parking lot.
I know how to parallel park. It will take me 15 minutes, but I can do it.
I was on minute 7 before she got in the car. Unless it's
on the left side of the street. Was it on the left? Like, was the parking spot to your left or to your right?
To my right.
Oh, okay. That I can do in 10 minutes. I actually think
getting out is easier. I'll back up onto the curb and then just drive straight.
Yeah. And just leave your insurance card wherever you go.
Yeah.
Leave a note. Guys, that's our show. Thank you so much for listening to the Toast Millennial Morning Show. We deliver the fast-paced stories you need to know from Monday through Friday on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, bitch, subscribe, okay? And give this video a thumbs up, okay? We work really hard. We rented this whole studio. At least you could do
the whole thing.
Give it just a subscription
Parallel
and a thumbs
parks,
up.
Almost stole my car.
Right. We almost had our car stolen and our livelihoods. Just subscribe.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
We're also available as a podcast anywhere podcasts can be found. So it's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, CastBox, all the places wherever you listen to podcasts. Find us the Toast. Leave a 5-star review about how beautiful, stunning, and wickedly talented we are. Hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday. Don't forget to hump someone you love, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Love ya. Bye.